I now command season 2 of Kiwanis Connects is now underway. Welcome everybody to season 2. We are back. That's right. Kiwanis Connects is back on the air. WWDBTV, Facebook, YouTube, you know the whole thing. And of course, Roku. And it looks like I'm in studio, Val, but I'm not. I'm in my home studio here in Virginia Beach, Virginia. How are you?
You are looking good. I love it.
Well,
you know.
The humidity is doing wonders for my skin out here.
Yes, and it's curling the beard just perfectly.
Yeah, just a little bit, just a little bit. But we are back. It's been a long 6 weeks without y'all out there. We want to thank you for tagging us along. We are back better than ever because why? It's season 2, and we get to do it all over again because of you and you out there. I see you in the back. You too. Everybody out there. Kiwanis International. We're around the world. We'll catch y'all. That's why we're here. However, you can still call us during the show. John, you did pay the phone bill, I hope. 702-992-3207. I do have the chat room up. Good morning, Diane. Diane, good to see you out there. Have you in the Facebook chat room. You can message us on YouTube. John will catch it. Call us, whatever you want to do. We want to hear from you because it's been a long time. Now, of course, the highlight of today's show is going to talk about convention. That was just up in Denver, and Val has all kinds of stuff ready for that. I've been kind of following it online. Then, Val, I think there's another convention coming up in about a month or so, right?
Less than a month, and I can't wait. I've already gotten my hula lessons going. So, absolutely. And I just wanted to say aloha to everybody. You know, it feels like it's 6 weeks lasts forever. So I can't do that again.
No, well, listen, you know, I know you sent in pictures, and when you and I were emailing during the week, you want to touch a little bit on the move and the transition out here. So I sent some pictures to John that we'll show in a little bit. Hey, John Brummer, it's 110 there in Lodi near Sacramento. There's also Lodi, New Jersey, by the way. That's up in the northern part. So thank you, John. It's funny, Val, doing this for as long as I have, doing shows every week is a habit, like brushing your teeth and getting up in the morning, and not doing it for 6 weeks was really strange. It was like one arm tied behind my back. It's like when you leave the house and you're forgetting something, right? And it's
Absolutely.
Like, I should be on the air, but wait, we're on hiatus. I got a show to. No, I don't. So it is delightful to be back. I got warmed up this morning. A new acquaintance out here. He does a show Friday mornings at a god awful hour of 6 a.m. local time. So he invited me down. I was on his radio show this morning, and you can check that out on Facebook. Hello, Tracy. From Oregon. There you go. So I got warmed up behind a microphone about 6 hours ago. and now I'm ready to rock and roll. Good morning, Delia. So yeah, it's good to be back. I missed everybody. I miss our daily chats doing this. Of course, we talk all week long anyway. But here's the cool part. Courtesy of all those great bad dad joke Facebook groups I've joined, I tried to stay up with the dad jokes and kind of keep everybody laughing. Well, I got my library sitting right here on my desk. I'm so excited to get back to bad dad jokes at the end of the show. We're going to have a good time today, right?
Oh, absolutely. I missed your bad dad jokes. And so I tried to tell some of my own, and they failed so badly that people were like, when is Aaron coming back?
Yes. And I'm known for something.
Oh, yeah. You are the highlight of the show. I am telling you.
How did Andy cope without bad dad jokes for all these weeks?
I think he was listening to mine and praying that you were not going to give up on me on the show. So,
well, that's why I was sharing. Oh, Andy's watching. Good morning, Andy. I was just asking about you. Now, hope you weren't going through bad dad joke, withdrawal. That's why I was kind of sharing some jokes online. I think I tagged Andy in a couple of them. But we are ready to rock and roll today. You know what? My brain right now trying to get back into the swing of things. I was following convention a little bit. Obviously, international is where we're going to spend a lot of today's conversation to talk about what went on and the votes. And we know the big issue that we had talked about leading up to the convention. I saw the results posted. We'll talk about that. So we really do have a lot to talk about. We'd love to see your comments and questions. Good morning. Good morning, Chuggies. Thank you for jumping in there. So where do you want to start, my friend? I'm just going to sit back and chill, and I'm going to drive with you. Where are we going today?
I had such a great time at International. So let's start where people really were focused, and that was on the House of Delegates. And so once we get through all the nitty-gritty business, I'd love to tell you about some people that I fell in love with while I was there.
Okay.
And so the very first thing, we spent a lot of time in April and May really talking about these dues increases.
Yep.
And people were up in arms because of potentially increasing by $25 for international. And I have to do a shout out to Paul Palazzolo, our CEO of Kiwanis International, because he made it real and he spoke in Kiwanis language. And that made all the difference in how the dues increase was received.
Very cool.
And so, a lot of people put up a bunch of charts. They'll show you the graphs of where the money goes, and they'll send out these. If you pay this much, this is what it equals. But Paul actually said from the very beginning, I've sent you the numbers. Every Kiwani in this House of Delegates has it. You can review it. You know where the money is. But I'm going to tell you a story. And the story he told was phenomenal. The story he told was about the value of Kiwanis.
Yep.
And that's where I think we need to focus in on. That's where our new vice president focused her whole speech on. It is about what do you value? So when the House of Delegates members stood up from ASPAC, which is Asia Pacific Kiwanians, they said that it's about the value. It is an insult to some countries in Asia for you to try to give them discounts. Because what you're saying to them is that they're not good enough.
Okay.
That what they're getting isn't as valuable as what other people are getting. And so for us to say to them, there's a discount for you, says that this isn't the organization that they want to be a part of. Who thought of that?
Wow. And you know what? Good for them. But it is surprising to hear in this day and age that's a great position that they want to have. And I'm glad. It's so funny. Didn't we talk about value of Kiwanis a couple of weeks ago when we had Gary on? We had Ben and all that. We talked about value and hope, right? I mean, that was. They must have watched the show that day, right? To talk about all that.
I think they did, and but I've really believed that because when you think about what Kiwanis does in changing people's lives,
sure.
What's the difference between $2.25 a month when you're making other value judgments, including we went to a baseball game, and so I wore the jersey that you've got on.
And I did see that. Absolutely.
Yes, I looked good. I'm telling you right now, I looked good. But most of the people that went to that game spent a minimum of $52 to buy a ticket. And I was looking around and going, here's 48,000 people that have contributed to something that's going to last them one evening when we may impact someone for a lifetime.
Absolutely.
And so the dues did pass. Okay. And so I know that John had put up a sheet about how that impacts us here in CNH. So John, if you wanted to put that back up. Aaron, can you see some of those numbers?
I absolutely can. Let's see, $77 dues. You have the magazine for $8, $13 liability insurance, $4 directors and officers insurance, $5 risk management insurance. So total dues would be $107, subject to change, of course, pending other increases throughout the year. Again, in the scope of the world and what Kiwanis does and who we reach out to, this is, I'm not trying to minimize it. So folks, please take it where it's coming from. It's chump change for the return that we get when we do help communities, like we were talking about.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. That's great.
And so part of that for other districts, that's all they pay. Some of them don't pay district fees.
Wow.
And so that's the breakdown. And so what I wanted to share to Kiwanians around the world is that when you're looking at the district dues, the $77 is what actually comes from based on individual members. But the rest of it, the magazine, the insurances, the risk management fees, those all can come from your service account. You can do a service fundraiser and cover that. I want to do the math in my head. I think it's like $32.50 that can come out of your basic service account. And most clubs don't know that. And so they're seeing this as a major, gigantic increase in dues, when in reality, they're already collecting enough and they should be applying that from their risk management. And so Maritza put in there 22. Cool beans. Thanks, Marissa. And so knowing that that difference can be paid differently. And one of the people that I fell in love with, it's called Grouper.
Okay.
Grouper is a fund tied to your health benefits in Medicare. So if you're 65 and over, you can qualify for $130 a year just by being a Kiwanian.
Wow.
Their first check they send you is like $50, and then it's every other month it's another $10 or $20. And so I'm going to invite them to be on the show.
Sure.
Because I think this is a game changer for us.
Absolutely.
And so Diane Anthony talked about there's a contribution change for the governor, that there's and here it is. The dues increase is equivalent to one alcoholic beverage and one latte during the whole year.
Yep.
And I don't know where you're getting your alcoholic beverages, but when we were in Denver, the one alcoholic beverage I bought in the hotel on my first night would have covered my dues increase.
Yeah.
Just that one.
Yeah, well, that's, they take advantage of the closed-in audience. I printed off the notes that you had sent us. That's kind of what I'm looking at as we're chatting here. But I love the breakdown of the dues because, again, we were trying to, with Ben and Gary Graham, and I hope they're all watching, we were trying to break it down into the value of what we're talking about. I don't drink Starbucks, but again, like just that comment, one alcoholic drink and a latte in a short period of time covers the dues. And people will spend money where they want to, how they want to, if there's value for it. And that goes back to the entire conversation that started this about the perceived value of Kiwanis and our return in what we do for the world and what we do to help others. And I hate to say it, it's a no-brainer because I can't imagine what the conversation would be if that did not pass. Can't imagine what could the conversation in the hallway be after that.
Oh, it would have been absolutely devastating. And some of that conversation did come up when we were talking about it ahead of time. It's not only are we looking at increased decreases. Well, there is a special term, an increase in the expenses that the Kiwanis International have to cut out of process, which includes having to disassociate with Circle K, having to disassociate with Action Club, and looking at different ways to change how we conference so that the international conference might potentially be mostly just business meeting, like it is in some other organizations. A lot of draconian things would have been kicked into place because we needed the $30 increase last year. So to get go for a whole year under duress and then only give a $25 increase this year, it means that there's going to need to be some more fundraising processes coming. It's going to come back. Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. Let's stop right there. We got about quarter after the hour here. I can't say quarter after 9 or 12. It's 12. It's lunchtime for me. So I'm just going to say after the hour. So what do you say we step aside for our first break? We got a new sponsor. We want to welcome the Mental Health Moment, Melissa Atwell. She's a 501c3 organization that helps us de-stress. So pay attention to that. Also, we have, I believe, the PSA commercial for the stroke awareness. And who knows whatever else John's got cooking in the hopper for advertisements and sponsors. We appreciate them all. With that, Val and you're watching Kiwanis Connects. We will be right back.
Are you feeling overwhelmed? Are you stressed? Remember to take a moment for your mental health. At the Mental Health Moment, we believe in the power of self-care and community support. Our mission is to encourage and empower individuals across generations to prioritize their mental well-being. Through community, awareness, resources, and education, or CARE, we're here to support you every step of the way. Join us at the Mental Health Movement. Visit our website, thementalhealthmoment.org, or follow us on our social media platforms, because your mental health matters. Remember, take a moment for your mental health. Some estimates say that someone in the United States has a stroke every 40 seconds. Rocky, please share with us your experience.
Aaron, as we all think we are invincible, after playing baseball for 12 years and never missing a game, I had a stroke while I was umpiring. It put a new perspective on life for me. No more golf, bowling, dancing, or most importantly, playing catch with my grandchildren. Please listen to your own body warnings. Pay attention and watch for your family and your friends. Watch for those warning signs. You are not invincible.
Derek, what are some of the symptoms and signs we should be aware of?
The simple rules to remember: the be fast rule. Balance. Beware of loss of balance. Eyes. Check for vision loss. Face. Check if one arm is weak or numb. Speech. Listen for slurred speech. Time. Call 911 immediately if there's treatment. There's treatment available if it's within 3 hours.
John, what are some of the resources that folks have available for them?
There are several stroke support groups available to stroke survivors and their caregivers. Many of the stroke support groups you can attend can be accessed on your computer via Zoom. The stroke groups we support are located at the bottom of the screen.
This message was proudly brought to you by the following: the Kiwanis Club of Laguna Elk Grove, the Kiwanis Club of Oakland, and the Kiwanis Club of Palo Alto.
All right, welcome back. I guess that's the difference between not getting a countdown and a countdown from John now that we're both online. Welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. It's good to be back. Doc Val, I'm Aaron, and Val's just like riding a bike.
Absolutely. Once you get back on, if you're falling off before, you're falling off again.
Buckle up the seatbelt, right? Well, falling is fun because it's always fun. What did Rocky say? Life is not about, let's say, I'm going to paraphrase because I know I'm going to mess it up. Life is not about getting hit hard and getting down, but life is about how hard you can get hit, but keep coming back. In the Rocky Balboa movie. And I think that's a great quote because we can apply it to anything. Anyway, thank everybody. Appreciate all the comments welcoming us back to the air, that you missed us, which is great. We did miss you as well, everybody that's out there. Please check in. We know if there's somebody new watching, right, Val? I'd love to know where they're watching. I mean, you made all those great contacts at convention. I know you were sharing that. You mentioned the show to other folks around the world. I'm going to be hitting my first Kiwanis meeting next week to go to the Chesapeake Kiwanis Club. That's the home club of the local trustee, Gary's equivalent, as we know, Gary Graham. This gentleman out here is the trustee for the Capital District. So I'll be going to his home club, no pressure there. So I'll be getting back into the Kiwanis kick. And one thing I'm doing with Aaron's Hour, by the way, just a little switch gears here. And John came up with this idea when we were talking the other day. We're going to add, it's Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, coast to coast, as a little additional tagline, because I'll be talking about both coasts. I think in a way, even though we have people from checking in with us all the time from all over the world, right? Our friends in Africa and the Philippines, and of course, everybody here in the US and Hawaii and whatnot, we're still now I'm going to be able to introduce a whole nother string of Kiwanis clubs here on the East Coast and get them involved and be able to have them shown off. So, you know, we are international. We know that. But now with my feet here, your feet there, we really have coast to coast covered.
We seriously do. We seriously do. And, you know, Aaron, I'm going to go back to the moment when we were talking about remote voting at international because something came up in the conversation on the floor that I was unaware of. And it completely changed how I perceived our voting situation.
Okay.
And that's because we've had Grace from Kenya on and a number of other people. And you know that Grace wasn't able to attend international convention because her visa was denied. It wasn't denied by her home country. It was denied by the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
And that sent off a little bit of red flag for me. And when I was hearing on the floor is there are 27 countries out of the 80 plus countries and nations that belong to Kiwanis that cannot attend an international convention in the United States. They're barred from travel.
And that being why?
They're barred from travel for political reasons, for immigration violations of the country, for all kinds of things that are outside the purview of Kiwanis. And so it really changed my perspective on why we need remote voting. Unfortunately, it did fail at this convention. And the reason it failed is because people are really worried that if you're not at the table, then you can't be a part of the discussion.
Right.
And I think that it is our responsibility as an organization, that's Kiwanis International overall, to figure out how to do real-time involvement with all of our nations when we're at convention.
Well, don't they already have something called Zoom?
They have Zoom, but we realize that we don't usually pay for internet connectivity at these conventions.
True.
And that's because we get gouged at these different hotels. When we're in decon in Hawaii, we won't have paid for internet connection. So if you're not getting it as a guest at the hotel, you won't have it. And so, yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like a perfect opportunity for Kiwanis International to get, I don't know, Verizon, AT&T to be sponsors for the Wi-Fi connections whenever is needed at all the conventions. I don't know, just call me silly to think that somebody can approach these companies and say, hey, look, here's what we are, here's what we need, come support us and be a sponsor. But
I think that's a fabulous idea. And I also think that we need to make sure that people understand when you're talking about a House of Delegates that is global, is that there's no one dialing in for free.
Right.
Everybody has to pay a fee that's reasonable to attend the House of Delegates. It's normal. And so the Kiwanis International, I think, is going to need to be charged with coming up with something that's a reasonable fee that covers the cost of remote voting and allows for those individuals from different clubs to come in and vote. It's written in our bylaws that every other year you're supposed to send a representative or a delegate from your club to international. Not every year, but every other year.
Correct. I just feel bad for somebody like Grace, as you mentioned earlier, because I saw her posts and she and I were chatting offline, that once again, politics, and again, I don't know what the true political issues are as to why, some countries want to, why we won't allow other people to come into our country. But it's a shame because here you have somebody that is doing the right thing in the world to help others, like we all do as Kiwanians. And because of somebody having a political feather up there, that here we have a lady that's an officer that's new to it in a part of the world that really Kiwanis is really starting to spread its wings. And because of somebody's political issues or the country's issues, we have to deny this person from participating and feeling part of the big picture of Kiwanis International because she can't come to convention. I think that's a shame.
Absolutely. And Armando made a comment, it's an outdated mindset that we're dealing with, and that the world does deserve to be represented worldwide. Armando, I didn't even have to pay you for that. Thanks. And so I think for us to truly be a global organization, we're going to have to use the technology that's out there. We're going to need to make sure that we are inclusive. And one of the comments that kept coming up over and over again is if you're not at the table, you're on the table. And so a number of the Kiwanis clubs in Africa were not represented, and they're starting to close. And so one club that we were doing a fundraiser for during our Kiwanis International Children's Fund meetings, they're actually going to close in August because there isn't support for them to actively be involved. Wow. So why would they contribute to an organization that doesn't allow them to be at the table?
There are many reasons that we could say for those sort of things, and we'll save those comments and for another show down the line. But here he puts up another comment. 60% were in favor. We need to be progressive to grow as an organization. That progression started in 1985, I believe it was, when women were first allowed to join Kiwanis for the first time since 1912, 17, whatever the official date is of Kiwanis. And to think it took all those years to get to that point, and now we're at 60% of inclusion, as he was just talking to, we're well beyond coulda, wouldas, and shouldas. We have to be, period. That's where I think we need to take a position, and that will also aid in the future of Kiwanis organization, in my opinion, as a whole. But,
yeah, and one of the things that has changed this year was when we looked at the overall dues increase. the dues increase was 64% support last year, and it needed to be at 66 point blah 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 blah, whatever that magic 2/3 vote is. And this time around, when the story was told and it was humanized, it passed by 86 point something percent.
Wow.
It's telling the story that tells the background and the people that are involved, not just the numbers.
Right.
When you say, oh, there's only so many people in tier 2 and tier 3, and so there are 95% of people are in North America, or they're in Asia Pacific, or they're in tier 1 countries that pay the full freight for being there, people tune out.
Right.
But when you tell the story of a Grace who is saving thousands of kids, she is the person behind making Project eliminating maternal neonatal tetanus a reality in 12 countries. And she wasn't able to be present, even though that was our global perspective.
Right.
That's a whole nother story.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, we can delve into all of this and maybe get some other individuals to talk about that on an upcoming show to get more in depth in that. But again, it's, conventions are educational, progressive, got to make decisions. I think I'm frozen. Can you hear and see me?
Can hear you.
Okay. Well, for some reason my picture's frozen, but as long as you can hear me in the moment, that's, conventions are about that opportunity for people to get together face to face to share the moment together, not just to know somebody did something worlds apart. We need to meet these people face to face and have a situation where they're being rewarded for what they're doing by being able to attend convention. Here's what I'd like to do. You can hear me, you can't see me. And of all the pictures it froze on is me with my finger on my chin. So let's take a break. I'm going to click out and click back in during the break, and hopefully the camera will come back. You're watching Kiwanis Connects as I continue to iron out some of these logistical nightmares from coast to coast. Kiwanis Connects, we'll be right back.
Kiwanis International is a global community of clubs, members, and partners dedicated to improving the lives of children, one community at a time. Today, we stand with more than 550,000 members, from K-Kids to Key Club to Kiwanis, for all ages in over 80 countries around the world. Each community has different needs, and Kiwanis empowers members to pursue creative ways to serve the needs of children, such as fighting hunger, improving literacy, and offering guidance. Kiwanis clubs host nearly 150,000 service projects each year.
For more information, contact Herman Platsky at KiwanisClub of 29Palms.com.
Thanks to the efforts of the Cal Neva District of Kiwanis, there's been a Kiwanis presence in the Rose Bowl Parade for more than half of the New Year's Day Parade since 1921. In the past, our efforts were funded through club sponsorships, outside sponsorships, by the generous donations from Kiwanis members or club foundations sponsoring riders on the Kiwanis float itself. The District Rose Float Committee handles fundraising, and the Kiwanis Rose Float Club secures and organizes the volunteers. When Kiwanis International wanted to sponsor a large portion of our float, momentum from our clubs was lost due to any fundraising. The time has come to have our clubs increase their involvement in the fundraising efforts. But the Rose Float Kiwanis Club needs the help from all Kiwanis clubs, its members, and businesses to answer the call for support. Visit our Kiwanis Rose Float page on Facebook. Help make sure that Kiwanis International will let the world continue to smell the roses for a long time.
Hey, I think we got it fixed. Welcome back to Kiwanis Connects. So what happens when you put quarters in the slot and the meter runs out? I had to fill the slot again. So we are back and working. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. The topic we were talking about in the remote voting and everything is one that, with all the technology we have, there has to be a solution. There should be, because of all the members that are in Kiwanis versus the percentage of members that actually do go to convention, we all know is dwindling year after year after year after year. Remote and technology has to be a way that we have to take advantage somehow to increase participation, to add as many members of Kiwanis as possible into the structure and direction of the organization down the line.
And, we did something under 10 Cunning that I thought was really exemplary. And that was, we called it VCon. So virtual convention. And everybody paid no, I think he didn't charge on that one, but it was that you pay $25 and you can attend all the sessions online as well as be a part of whatever house is going to be able to happen. I think that there's a global way to do that where someone in Africa who might not ever have the chance to fly to Pittsburgh next year would actually dial in and offset their day and at midnight click in to the general opening session and be able to make comments online where it can show at the bottom of the screen because we always have technology up in the room. I think that one of the big failures was a very archaic process in the bill that was put up for us was that voting had to be open for 24 hours. And it's like, and that didn't leave an option for interaction from people who are virtual.
Right.
And the reality is our technology allows for that. I personally paid into the Zoom category that allowed for 5,000 people to participate in a conversation at one time. If I personally can pay for that 1 month to be able to do that, Kiwanis International should be able to pay for that every club has at least 2 slots to be able to log in under that banner. And 24 hours of voting is ridiculous.
Right.
And in this day and age.
You know, it's that's true. I mean, I don't know about you, but I can't remember what I did yesterday within 24 hours. So, I mean, it's not a whole lot of time to, recharge and stay in there. So hopefully with all the technology, like we said, and I mean, listen, everybody's taking advantage of technology. There has to be a way to include this and make it easy for everybody. I want to segue a little bit. I want to come back to the international about other things that went on, but you mentioned Pittsburgh a few seconds ago for next year's convention. What you got on that, other than the fact that it is so far out that it's closer for me here now? I am targeting to try to get out there for a KI convention in Pittsburgh next year to see everybody. What do we know about the convention?
It's going to be a lot of fun. There's so much going on. My friend Sean Smith was dancing around in a great big gigantic dill pickle outfit. And some of our friends were in the Heinz ketchup bottle.
Oh my goodness!
And so they're already kicking off the fun and the really interactive parts of what can happen in Pittsburgh.
Right.
Because when most people think of Pittsburgh, they think of maybe the Steelers. But beyond that, they don't have an idea of how historical Pittsburgh is.
Right.
And so I'm very, very, very excited about it. I'm hoping that Kiwanis Connects will actually have a booth where we can help people start to put together their commercials, get them signed up, because I think that Pittsburgh is going to be where it's at because the next year is Milan.
Oh, I heard there's a movie named after Milan. Is that true?
Yeah. Is that Milano? Moana. Yeah.
I'm glad you mentioned the commercial because it's a segue that I want to mention. By the way, Nancy Pearson, if you're watching, thank you for her emails. Nancy, do you know off the top of your head what club Nancy Pearson's part of? I do not recall off the top of my head.
Los Gatos.
Okay, so they're going to be the latest club that is taking advantage of the Kiwanis Connects commercials that we can put together for their club. Remember, folks, $250 for 30 seconds. $300 for 60 seconds, $350 for 90 seconds. Each of those prices, though, include $50 that will come off the top that we will then forward as a continuing fundraiser for the Rose Float Club. So you're killing 2 birds with 1 stone. You're promoting your club or an event or organization. And at the same time, we're helping raise money for that beautiful Rose Float that happens every year. Oh, and by the way, these commercials don't just have to be about Kiwanis. If a Kiwanian has a business that they would like a commercial made for, you will also get the same pricing. Everything will be exactly the same. So please don't limit yourself to just thinking of the club. If you are a Kiwanian that has a business and would like to let the world know, we will be happy to do that. Just simply message me at kiwanisconnectsinfo@gmail.com, or you can leave a message on the Facebook page. So thank you, Nancy. And folks, take advantage of that. So we're going to have that table out there. That's great. Let's do that. And now we'll also have a spot to be able to do a remote show from there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I did some recording while I was out there. So we're going to have to play with it because some of the background noise, because people were so excited to see us recording. And I want to thank Winsome from Barbados. She was fabulous. And she just really talked about why it's important to be a Kiwanian.
Right.
And Jen Vare out in Pennsylvania talked about how life would be without Kiwanis.
Mhm.
And so just getting some of those stories, it just reinvigorated me all over again. I think that's why we go to convention.
Mhm.
So people say, if you could do remote voting, would you really go to convention? And it's like, oh yeah.
There's nothing like rubbing elbows with people face to face and feeling their energy and being able to talk. Yeah, the remote voting is great, and it's a great option for those who can't get there. But absolutely, you have to go in person to enjoy and really soak in what it's about and recharge your batteries because of the energy of everybody else that's there.
Absolutely. And one of the things that most businesses are kicking back into is paying for continued education. And this year, I think they knocked it out of the park for the continued education sessions that were available. The Amplify leadership track was amazing. It's something that most people pay $1,500 for, or their businesses will support them in matching funds to go to see. And to be able to, as a Kiwanian, be able to do that for less than $200, it's amazing.
Right.
And so I think for me, knowing that those educational sessions and also the keynote speakers that we had, Chris Stapleton, he shared his story of kindness and support. And he's one of the people that his mother was murdered by a racist who came into their church in South Carolina and had killed, I think it's 8 people. And I may not be telling the whole story, so we may have to have Chris on here.
Right.
But he was sharing what he got out of that and how he is promoting kindness. And then we ended the whole convention with Diana Nyad. I am now such a girl fan. Oh my goodness. And I have to admit, because Andy reminded me, I kept going, so she swam for 110 miles. How long can she actually talk? When I went out there, I was like, this is not going to be fun, but I'll go because I'm a good Kiwanian and I go to sessions.
Right.
That was the most meaningful session for me.
Right.
It was the most valuable session for me because she talked about the value of team. She talked about the value of community, and that while swimming may seem like a solo sport, you're only looking at the swimmer in the lens that's this big.
Right.
You don't see the team that's outside the frame and the fortitude of just that one extra push of someone supporting you mentally, emotionally, and physically. She, as Herman said, she was absolutely inspirational.
Right on.
Absolutely. So one of the things that I did want to share before we go to our next break is that I went early. Not only did I go, but I went early. And that was because I've joined the Kiwanis International Children's Fund.
Okay.
Because the project that we're working on for the next 5 years is huge. And it truly feeds to my soul. And I wanted to share it with everybody that's out there. So this won't be the last time you hear about it, but it's called the Possibility Project.
Okay.
And the Possibility Project is, there she is, there's my Amy. The Possibility Project is about Kiwanians helping other Kiwanians. And their past international projects, we actually did IDD, or iodine deficiency disorder, where we changed the world. We changed the health of the world as Kiwanians, and it was absolutely huge. But we partnered with a third party and outside parties to actually make that project work. And then we did Project Eliminate. And I was a member of that because knowing that a baby was dying every 9 seconds because of something that we could control in our world,
Right.
i.e. the elimination of tetanus and maternal neonatal tetanus.
Right.
It was like, that was mind-blowing for me.
Right.
And so Kiwanis made a huge difference. And in the long run, we actually saved people's lives around the world because during the COVID era, because they had refrigeration that lasted from our time of eliminating maternal neonatal tetanus. That's huge because it's a long extended period. But now we have Kiwanis clubs that haven't been able to fundraise. We have Kiwanis clubs that have big ideas and Kiwanis clubs around the world that have kiddos that need our help. But a local Kiwanis club of 15, 20 people don't have all the resources they need. They have the people power, they have the will, they have the process. They don't have the resources. So for $2.25 donation, you can help a child somewhere else in our Kiwanis world do what we're doing successfully in our world.
Wow.
And so if you think about this project, we're hoping to raise $25 million over the next 10 years. And that 25 million will impact 10 million kiddos.
That's awesome. I don't know if you saw Herman's message come up in the chat room, is that we should create an ad for it. If there's clubs out there who want to sponsor an ad, or however we want to do it, to put a commercial together for them, I'm open. So let's have some conversation about that to help promote it, especially, and maybe KI gets involved in this, if this is that type of project, to help put a spot together for this. Absolutely.
I know that I'll be able to find resources. Absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's interesting you mentioned IDD. When I got involved in Kiwanis all those many years ago, IDD was the thing that was happening at the time. And now, it's pretty much eradicated for all intents and purposes. You don't hear anything about IDD issues that much anymore. So it's interesting you mentioned that one. But I love worldwide projects. And when you take a project like this, like you said, helping all those millions of children around the world, again, when you could break it down into the smallest dollar amount needed to help one individual forever, basically, it's pennies. It's pennies in the grand scheme of life.
And, I think about in my division, I'm in Division 43, and giving a shout out to Monterey County, Santa Cruz County, and San Benito County. We've saturated our schools. We've now adopted our schools and have books in every kid's hands that's in the first grade. But to find out that in places here in North America, there are kids, 1 in 3 kids has not ever touched a brand new book. And that there are 1 in 5 kids have books in their household.
Wow.
To know that that's one of the pillars of Kiwanis, where it's literacy and education, it's health and nutrition, it's leadership development. Those are the 3 different pillars that we're going to be using these grants to support Kiwanis initiatives with Kiwanis clubs.
Right.
People are going to join us. They're going to want to be a part of us. We've already collected over $5 million to kick this off. That's Kiwanians who helped with the IDD program and the Project Eliminate, who've already said, we believe in this. And when I win the lottery, I'm making it positive. I'm doing the Zoom. When I win the lottery, that's going to be one of my focuses, is to make sure that we're helping kiddos.
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's never enough help for the next generation or the generation before that. There really isn't. And I'm a big believer is every child out there can use any type of additional mentor or support, not just necessarily from families, but there should never be a shortage of positive influences on children, regardless of what that is. And I love the idea, and I can't wait to learn more about it. I'll do some more research on it and get up to speed on it, but I love the concept. So,
and there's lots of material out there. We're going to have it at our decon. And so I wanted to just talk a little bit about our district convention is going to be in Kona, Hawaii. And for those people out there, if you haven't gotten your hotel arrangements, you want to make sure you do that soon, because the hotel's selling out. And all of the airlines have great fares from everywhere, including Southwest Airlines has like $390 round trip from San Francisco to Kona.
Wow. I can't imagine what the tickets would be from here, though. It's a day and a half of travel. It's a day and a half of travel, probably connecting flights and everything else. But no, that's good. If you get a good deal, now's the time to do it. Absolutely. Before you get shut out, for sure. Or you can spend money on the timeshare, whatever works for you. I don't know why timeshare popped into my head there. But yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to Pittsburgh next year, because it'll be closer for me to be able to take advantage of. Whether I fly or drive up, I have no idea. But certainly, since it's in this time zone, we'll make it easier. And I'm planning on, hopefully, Eileen and I both coming out for that, so we can see everybody, say hello, and increase the newer faces. So John Crawford said, the hotel block is already gone for the convention.
I do have one more room. So if anybody wants to message me. If you know how to message me, I think I can get you hooked up for one more room.
Give it away as a fundraiser. Fundraise for it.
Absolutely. And next year our district convention is going to be in Las Vegas. So it'll be a homecoming time for you.
Wow. Yeah, I have to make some trips back and forth. My dad is still out there. So did they select a place in Vegas yet?
Yeah, it's going to be the Marriott, JDW Marriott in Summerlin. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And they've done some amazing renovations there. So if you had been there before and you thought it was really a nice hotel, oh my goodness, wait till you see the rooms that are reserved for us.
I understand why they're doing it off the strip, and that's off the strip. If it's the one up in Summerlin, you said, yes?
Yes.
Okay. So that hotel was about 3 miles from where I lived. So I know it perfectly well. And I understand why they want to kind of keep it off the strip so that stragglers and everybody, they still pay attention to the convention. I get that. But I'm surprised they went that far off the strip, because there are places off the strip that are closer. And I can't imagine that they'd want to shut. And I'm sure the convention committee, the Vegas, the home division, I'm sure Maritza or whoever's going to be the next lieutenant governor after Maritza, thinking about putting things together to do while in town. And there'll be a lot to do, I'm sure, to get down there. But that's a great hotel, great facility. Suncoast is right next door as well. You're right. Tuscany Village is right across the street. Great shops and everything there. I have some great friends that own businesses in there, so it's a great place to go to. So I'm looking forward to that. Free parking and eating as well. So good stuff. So that's good. Maybe we'll have to plan our trip back. One of my trips back with Eileen back to Vegas in and around convention time next year. So that'll be kind of cool. Then we can do a show in studio. Well, maybe.
I love it. John would love to see us, I think.
Oh, I'm sure he would. And if he didn't, he'd be jumping on the phone right now, jumping on the camera saying, no, don't come back. Okay. We have about 12 minutes left, a little less than that. And I know we have some bad dad jokes waiting, but in our conversation, you also wanted to talk a little bit about the move.
Well, before we talk about your move,
okay,
there was something really amazing that happened.
What did I miss?
At convention.
Talk to me. What did I miss?
We had elections.
Oh, we did?
We did. We had elections.
All right, let's do it.
And I was like going, that was one of the biggest deals about being there. We didn't talk about it.
Yeah. Leaders are leaders, but no, I have the info sheet that you said. Let's go for it.
And so it's exciting because we have 3 new trustees from North America that only the North America Tier 1 countries get to vote on. And so we did elect Scott Sims. And Scott brings so our international president, this is Lee Kuan Yeung, and he is absolutely amazing. I think he may be the best dancer of any international president. And so it was fabulous to be a part of him. And then you see off to the one side, that's Michael Mulhall. He is our president-elect. And that beautiful face right next to him is Hope Marks, one of my near and dear friends. She had some heavy competition, and I send my heart out to Gary Graham and Dan Leckvold. But Hope Marks did this amazing speech, and she is the vice president. And because of who I am, I'm going to put it out there before you take that picture down. I got to talk about Hope for one more minute. Hope is the first person that is who classifies and calls herself Black. She's Black Caribbean, and she is the first female Black person to run our international organization in the future.
Wow. Congrats. That's terrific.
That is something very special. And some people say, oh, don't talk about that because that's political. It's not political. It is an accomplishment. And so congratulations, Hope.
And we had Hope on the show the last time we talked about hyping for international too.
Absolutely. And her competition was here on our show as well. And you all know I love Gary Graham. I'm going to go visit him and Jamie. So hopefully we'll vote Gary Graham in next time.
Okay.
Because we had some really amazing candidates this year. So now you can put the other one up. And these 3 amazing people are going to represent us very, very well on the Board of Trustees. You have Deborah. And I don't know Deborah's last name because I never learned Deborah's last name. I just knew that she is a powerhouse and she brings that youthful spirit, and she's an educator, and she's wow. And in the middle is my friend Joe Schwartz. Joe Schwartz is one of those people that just brings a ray of sunshine to the table, and she brings the roll up your sleeves and get it done. And then you see Scott Sims, who brings a legacy of Kiwanis and Kiwanis history and Kiwanis family to the Board of Trustees. So congratulations to all three of them.
That first lady, according to the information, her name is Dawn, or is it Debbie?
It's Deborah.
Okay.
Or it may be Dawn, but I've been calling her the wrong name. It's Dawn Hodges. And oh my God, I've been calling her the wrong name. No wonder I didn't know her last name. Dawn, you're going to have to come on the show.
That's right. Set the record straight, Dawn.
And you have the international folks that are there. And so do you have the names of our international folks on your piece of paper?
I do. It's Mario Bruni of Ontario, Canada, will serve as a trustee for Eastern Canada and the Caribbean District. Maura Magni of the Italy San Marino District will also join the board as a trustee for Europe. And Philippe Delanote of the Belgium Luxembourg District will also join the board for a one-year term, filling the vacancy left by the passing of Vincent Selambier. There you have it.
And the woman in the middle, I'm a girl fan of hers. We walked to a meeting. She is more beautiful in person than she is in pictures.
Wow. Well, picture's pretty good.
Yeah, pictures are awesome. She is amazing. She's
Maura
amazing.
Magni. You know, it'd be fun. We should get some of these international, like literally international folks from other parts of the world that are trustees to come on the show.
Let's do it.
We should certainly do that. No, listen, Hope we had on the show, some of these other people we've talked about. I think moving forward for the future, at least for the next year or two, I think things will look bright in the leadership category moving forward. So I'm excited. I mean, it does bring a sense of excitement when you see what the structure of leadership will be coming down the pike. So good for them. Absolutely. Absolutely. Whew. So that was a lot. And I didn't mean to skip that over, but you know me, I watch the clock and make sure we get everything in, and I just forget about what happens at stuff. So I'm glad you caught that with the election. So elections and the dues, they were the two biggie things, right?
Two biggies. And so we took care of business. And so I'm yielding my time for so Val won't do anything on the road. Because I really want to know about this move that you've made. And so you have serious on the road.
Well, what do you want to know? I mean, first of all, we did. John, can you pull up the pictures, or I'll go through them as we bring them up. So when I left Vegas, everybody was worried that Eileen was not going to drive. Even Eileen was worried that I wouldn't let her drive because I like to drive. So I took this picture on the third day in the morning shift, took a picture of her driving so I can prove that she actually, now, truth be told, that's only in the parking lot, and we switched. No, I'm only kidding. No, that's not the case. So I do have that one. So that is proof. Go ahead, John. Next, let's hit the next one. There we are. The day that we got to the house 4 weeks ago today. That is a picture of the front of our house. Very beautiful home. Now, this is the remnants of us starting to unpack. This is the garage as we've emptied out boxes. Keep going, keep rolling. More boxes. We just got rid of those in the recycling bins. Now, the next set of pictures is all the stuff that I generally have in my office, my collectibles, my wrestling belts. I have much of it up here in my office. Maybe I'll take a video of the room, but I still have in the front living room, I still have about, 4 boxes, 6 bins, and a partridge and a pear tree full of stuff that I have no idea where it's going to go. So those pictures were sort of the aftermath of starting to unpack stuff. But we have no pictures yet on the walls because we just don't know where it's going to go. We did it in 4 days, which was fine. It was a great drive, no weather issues, great sunrise pictures in the morning, which I didn't send over any because in the pictures they just come out as good as I would have liked them to. Weather was great travel, great drive. And yeah, we did it in 4 days. We got here Monday or Friday, the 14th of June at 6:30 p.m. We literally pulled into the parking lot, unloaded the cars. Movers were supposed to come the following Monday. We actually got a call. They came the following Thursday. So they came 5 days early. And our cars were due to come on that Monday, 4th, 15th, the 17th. We got a call that they were coming in on Sunday, the 16th. So cars got here a day early, no damages. We had very minor damage in some of our stuff, a piece of glass broken on a door front on something, and a couple of things, but nothing major. Everything came in one piece, and they did a great job. very communicative and letting us know the where and what for. So I swore I would never do, when I drove Val out there 27 years ago, I swore I would never do it again.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, never say never.
Exactly.
Because once our daughters graduated from college and they said, we're not coming back to Vegas, then we knew the handwriting was on the wall for us to we knew we were moving somewhere. Now, if I were to move again, I'm not packing a box. House is going to be sold with everything in it. I'm going to leave the house with the shirt on my back, my cars, and I'll just buy new somewhere else because this packing and unpacking routine is for the birds. So I don't recommend it unless you like doing that stuff, in which case you need mental health relief. That's for darn sure.
Absolutely. And our sponsor will help you out.
Oh, absolutely. Melissa is terrific. She is terrific. All right, you ready for some? It is time for some bad dad jokes. I know you've been all waiting for them. Right, Andy? John, do we play our intro, John, or are we not playing an intro anymore? Okay, I guess we're not playing. Oh. Are we playing an intro, John?
No.
All right, then. Thank you very much for playing. All right. Where do hamsters come from? Hamsterdam. My God. What birds are found in Portugal?
Portuguese.
Gotcha. Portuguese. Which is smarter, longitude or latitude? Longitude, because it has 360 degrees. Oh, I like that one. Andy, I hope you're still with us, buddy. Florida is a really easy place to move to because it has lots of keys. But anyway, I digress. What state does the most laundry? Washington.
Look at Mom.
That I like the other lady better, but this lady's growing on me. I can tell you that's for sure.
Andy says nice work.
Oh, he likes that one. All right, Andy's back. What is the best part about living in Switzerland?
Is chocolate?
That's not bad, but I'm not sure. But the flag is a big plus. Oh my gosh. And I had one. Where did it go? I don't know if I can find this. Oh, how can you tell if a snake is a baby snake? Has a rattle.
Look at Mom.
And this one, courtesy of the new location by the shore. This is a seashore joke and an ocean joke. I used to search for shellfish at the beach until one day I pulled a mussel. I went there. That'll do it for this week's version of Dad Jokes. There you go. So I hope you all missed it because I missed sharing. But no, those are pretty good. I got books now. I got a whole library of bad dad jokes now.
Oh, I love it. And now I don't have to tell anymore.
What's that?
It's like, now I don't have to tell any bad ones to keep Andy going. So
that's right. Well, again, folks, I did join some bad dad joke groups on Facebook, and every once in a while, if I get a good one, I do reshare them onto my wall. Like John, I tag him in all the Star Trek ones, which I was getting a flurry of. And there's some great Star Trek ones between Captain Picard and Number One, which I've been sharing with him because he's a big Star Trek geek, as you can see in some of the pictures behind him. So I do share some more, even while I was away, and you can always have them as reference. So, of course, go on to Facebook or YouTube or Roku. Watch any of the shows on Kiwanis Connects up there. The plethora. See, I waited all show to say the word, John. Of all the shows that are out there, you can catch all the bad jokes that are worth listening to again if you choose to. So,
yeah, if you're a masochist.
That's right, exactly. If you're really bored and you want to just really punish somebody. Anyway, that's it for bad dad jokes. I think we're just about out of time, Doc Val.
I just wanted to do a shout out to all of my fellow governors from my class and from the incoming class that are putting together a number of wonderful programs for decon for all of their different districts. And so thank you all, and keep watching. We're going to get better and better. I promise.
We're going to be right there. By the way, the world's smallest Kiwanis Club bell and gavel, by the way. This was donated by the Lilliputians, by the way. This is the Lilliputian Kiwanis Club. So now I get to say this. Thank you for watching, everybody. Make sure you join us every week, same time, same bat channel. And this show is dismissed. That was a bad shot. See ya.